morning and welcome to Dublin City FM. You're listening to CouncilMatters, and for any of you out there who may be of Jewish persuasion, I'm going to say Shana Tova because this is New Year's Eve. It's 5768 is what it is, or no, 78. So for all of you out there, we wish you a sweet, happy, healthy and prosperous new year. But moving on, I am now delighted to be joined in the studio by a long-time friend and colleague, Councillor Gaye Fagan, who represents the East Wall, Dublin Central area for Sinn Féin. So, Gaye, it's been a long time coming, but welcome as a studio guest.
Thanks, Mick, and I'd just like to thank you also for inviting me on here today to raise the issue that badly needs to be raised for the area.
Yeah. Can I ask you, Gaye, just before we get down to that issue itself, East Wall, are you an East Wall girl?
Born and bred, still live in the same house I was actually born in, So that's 55 years in December.
Good
so
God, you don't, all I could say
and
is...
three generations or four generations the family go back.
Yep. Well, look, I grew up just the other side of Fairview Park, so East Wall, I mean, it's very much, as I say, very much in the psyche. You must have seen some massive changes over the years.
Massive. I mean, you know, and while some of them are welcome, I mean, and it's great to see, you know, parts of the city being developed the way they are, but the knock-on effect to the area, especially with traffic and safety concerns and that, like there is a downside to it. But that can be rectified, providing the proper things are put into place to do it.
Something that, now I am old enough to remember when essentially the main source of employment in East Wall was the docks. And then I can remember when containerisation came in. Pardon?
I worked in that business for 11 years. I worked down in the docks for a container company. And that was like the main source of income down here between timber yards. You also had printing factories, you had cabbies at one time. It was very industrial area, and especially around where you are based here. This particular yard was a wood yard. This particular site before IDA took it over was a massive wood yard, and then on the other side of it then going back to Merchant Road and regarding the lockout when that happened with the workers down here. My own family was involved in that lockout. They were actually evicted from their houses, but my dad worked for Gouldens. My grandfather worked in the shipyard, and my uncle also worked in the shipyard, and my grandmother had a lodger, and he actually worked for Caltex at the time, which then became Texaco. So, and you know, I worked in the area. I worked in East Wall from the age of 17 till I actually moved to America at 29.
One of the great landmarks, which you know, for those of us who didn't live in East Wall, but whenever you came down the East Wall Road, almost the first thing you saw was Wiggins Teep, wasn't it?
And the sad part about Wiggins Teep was that fabulous revolving door, which there was a preservation order on to keep that, and we woke up one Sunday and the whole lot was gone.
That struck me because there's also a building down there on Church Road. It's just behind the Lidl car park. It's like it was an old hall or something like that.
No, that used to be the priest's house.
Okay.
There was two priests lived in that, and through the years it's gone really badly not damaged because it wasn't maintained and that, but there's been a new roof put on it. There's obviously new buyers, but what's the proposal for it, I don't know. Hopefully it's not apartment, and if it is, to build within it, because it's a lovely building. We also had a lovely cottage down there at one time that was famous as well, on Church Road, that was demolished as well.
That's this in many respects, and it also feeds into what we want to talk about. It always struck me. Now I went to school with a few kids from East Wall, and I won't say it was everybody who did it, but there was certainly a couple of Christian brothers that we had, and if you came from East Wall, they really gave you a bad time, and so it always struck me that if you, I came from Fairview Ballybuck, and we got a certain amount, but we almost had a dream run compared to East Wall. And what I always said was that if you came from certain parts of the inner city, you got working class health, you got working class education and you got working class justice, which really wasn't either health education or justice. How do you feel about that, Gaye?
To a certain extent, yeah, but compared to other parts of the city, we probably wouldn't have had it as bad. Like, I mean, all my children went to the local school, St. Joseph, right? And we were fighting for different things, but we didn't come under the radar because we weren't desperate enough type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, where we could never get a deaf school because there wasn't enough people down here with medical cards.
Yeah.
Like, even though it is working class, that's what it is. It is working class. You know, the unemployment rate at times wasn't as bad because people did get out and took whatever jobs that was going.
Yeah.
We were lucky, I suppose, in some sense that, you know, we weren't as bad. Like, we weren't included in the task force, for instance, right? And probably for that reason, you know. My mother didn't send her boys to Christian Brothers School, but I have heard horror stories. A friend of mine that did go.
Yeah.
No, and especially if you were from East Wall, you're right about that.
Yeah, no, I always remember East Wall as being industrious or entrepreneurial. If you wanted to go and see poverty, you went up to Summerhill because that's where, you know, in my day, that's where you saw poverty. There were dreadful tenements up there. Now, that's no reflection on the people, but certainly it was neglect on the part of government in that regard. Now, tell us, Gaye, East Wall. In many respects, it's changed a lot, but in other respects, it's still the same place that we all knew and love. It's still the same physical area. No, there's not been a huge amount of development per se, and it hasn't been gentrified compared to, say, I lived in the equivalent of East Wall when I lived in Sydney. I lived in a place called Balmain. It was the old Docklands area. Now, that was massively gentrified. You couldn't buy a place down there now. You know, you'd be looking at least $1 million to buy a place there now. Nice if you can get it. But anyway, has East Wall still got a fair amount of the originals, as I would call them, or is that a lot of, have they moved on?
Well, a lot of them, being honest with you, like there was a lot of elderly people that, especially in the last year, we have seen a lot of them to have passed on. There's not a new families coming in, and they're more than welcome to the area. It's great to see new people coming in, and especially if they want to integrate with the area and that, because that's what you need.
Yep.
You need people to take a part in the area and that. And, you know, everyone is welcome. Like, my daughter was lucky enough, she managed to buy a house 2 years ago down here. But she was a year and a half trying and was kept being outbidded by cash buyers, mostly developers. She just got lucky in the end. For my other daughter, I don't think she'll ever have a hope. I'm not saying she wants to live in East Wall, but to even ever have a hope of owning a home these days, because it's just gone out of everyone's reach. And I mean, the prices...
It's back to where it was, isn't it?
Worse, I think, actually. I mean, seemingly, there's a house that was gutted and redone. Beautiful home. Class is a 3-bedroom with an extra room, but that can be classed as 4, on Church Road, facing to Chipper, and it's supposed to have sold for 615,000.
So that's not going to be somebody who's on a medical card, really, is it?
Well, I mean, even 2 people working be struggling to pay that mortgage. Just to get that mortgage, like that's not out of everyone.
Well, unless you sold somewhere else.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, if you're scaling down, unless you're coming in, we say from Holt or somewhere like that, you know. But for the ordinary person, you wouldn't be able to afford a mortgage like that.
Yeah, if my experience goes that, for argument's sake, if you got the Sydney model, the next thing you'd be having gastro pubs and you'd be having trendy wine bars and coffee shops and all of that. Is that the sort of thing you'd be? They'd be all saying down in East Wall, oh, isn't this great? You know, let's go down and talk about sort.
We might have that yet, but I imagine more so that will be in the Dockland itself. Like, we don't really have the room down here for any more construction. I mean, we're maxed out at this stage, unless they decide to do the other side of Sherry Street, Lower Sherry Street, where Castle Forbes is, the opposite side there, where Lever Brothers used to be. There's a lot of industry still in there, and I don't think there is plans. Some of that will be also Irish Rails as well, like, so I'm not sure what the plans are for that side.
Let's get down to the issue at hand, Gaye, and that is traffic, and more specifically speeding. This is not the locals, I'm guessing. This isn't a few joyriders going around the area acting the agent. This is actually commuter traffic. Yeah,
it's definitely commuter traffic. The problem is, what you call it, because traffic is so much more built up, right? And the fact that we do have a lot of people coming into the area, parking and leaving their cars there every day, which is also happening in North Wall as well, might I say. So because of the building work that's going on within the area and at the Docklands, people are using this as a rat run. And if you come off, we say, East Wall Road onto West Road, you have a free run until you get back around Church Road to come over Johnny Cullen's Hill. Same happens in the evening, right? There is no traffic restriction because there is no traffic lights at all on those roads, right? So, I mean, I've seen cars literally coming around onto St Mary's Road, Church Route, on two wheels speeding around. I mean, the residents are really anxious there. They have asked me to request speed cushions because it's not suitable to have the bumps where the bus is, right? I mean, we've asked for a lot of things down here for a traffic management plan. DCC have rejected that. I mean, even a traffic calming plan. In fairness, they did come down over a year ago with some of councillors and myself, and we went around the area and there was a few recommendations they come up with. Nothing really has gone through yet. Some of them weren't really, I didn't think, practical. They didn't make any sense. Other ones we wanted addressed and they didn't address that, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, it boils down to the driver. We are just asking for people to recognise that it is a residential area, to be considerate and use it like it was their own area. We have young kids down here that are entitled to be able to cross the road and be safe. We also have a big senior citizen population down here which don't have the same speed as the rest of us. They need to be safe. And another thing I'd like drivers to be mindful of, most of our roads from the East Road are not accessible from 4 to 7. Please do not cut through and use it like that, because that's when the children still be out to play. We're still not into the dark night yet. At the moment, because there's so many cars parked up, they're parked up on the paths, that you won't even see a child these days. And this is the problem. So if you do cut through, I mean, which you shouldn't, but if you do, please slow down. It is a residential area. And I would also like to ask the businesses that are operating down here, which some of them have absolutely no consideration whatsoever for the residents, that they need to respect the people that live here. We respect them. We don't interfere with their running of their business, so they shouldn't interfere with the running of their lives. We should be able to access our home at any time without the hindrance. I mean, parking up on paths, 4 wheels on the paths, right? So I mean, somebody with a buggy or someone in a wheelchair can't access. So
Might we need to do what we did in Fairview Park when all the syringes were appearing there? Go down there with cameras and take some photographs and show people, and maybe even show the Gardaí what's happening.
Well, I have loads of photographs of different things that happen. Some have been sent into council, some are still on my phone. On my way up here today, I had to take photographs of illegal parking. And as I said, this is not only here, this is also over in North Wall, where residents' homes are being invaded for the simple reason, like you go out in the morning, you might be dropping your child to school that doesn't necessarily go to school in the area. You come home and you can't get a parking spot outside your house, and then you're told, well, it's a public road, I'm trying to park for your life.
Can I ask you, Gaye, because over the last, say, 2 to 3 years, we've had one major change in the area, and that is the corner of Church Road there. It's become shopping central, hasn't it? You know, you've got Aldi on one side, you've got Lidl on the other. Has that made the situation better or worse?
No, well, I wouldn't say Aldi has really affected. It's brought more traffic into the area, but it doesn't come into as well. Lidl does. I mean, but at the same time, I'm not going to knock Lidl. I mean, it's welcome in the area. Of course, you know what I mean? And it's great to see the buzz about the place. You know, for years we had an eyesore there, as in Cllr printer. I mean, no one wants that. But I mean, if people were more considerate, and if DCC put in the request that I've asked, like, as for example, junction boxes outside the apartments, especially on Church Road, the Lighthouse apartment there, they have no way of getting in and out of their apartments in the morning because they're right beside the set of traffic light. So cars are queuing to get out at the light, and they've no way of getting in and out, which is causing a traffic problem because they're queuing to get in or out, and in the meantime everyone is stuck. So it's just DCC addressing some of the issues and regarding the junction boxes ASAP, need to be put there to
I
ease
ga-
the
and
situation.
I gather you're going to have Facebook coming to the area as well.
We have Facebook coming, and I've been told there's 800 jobs coming to Facebook.
Which would be welcome.
Which is welcome, and especially if some of our locals get jobs there, it'd even be more welcome. But I'm trying to get in contact with Facebook at the moment because I want to know how they are fixed for their staff and parking. Because with 800 employees, as far as I know, 250 parking spots, there's a shortfall there big time.
Well, here's the invitation to Facebook. If you want to come up here on Council Matters and discuss how you're going to fit in with the local community, we would be delighted to have you as a guest and share the message, because Lord knows you're coming into an area, you're the newcomer, the elders there. Now, unfortunately, to get media attention, you really do need a story, and the story would have to be somebody being knocked down or somebody being damaged. How has the media been on board with this?
No, other than yourself. And unfortunately, I'm not prepared to wait around till somebody is knocked down or somebody is damaged. That's not the issue here. By the way, Mick, I will be starting a petition in the area. We haven't worded the petition yet, to be honest with you, and we'll be going door to door from next week on for DCC to act on this issue. How DCC can tell me that there is no need for a traffic management plan when the amount of development that has gone in the past few years, right, okay, if this wasn't happening, maybe not. But I mean, how you can say that there hasn't been a major increase in traffic into the area with all that's going on is beyond comprehension.
Gaye, unfortunately, you're going to have to come back and tell us developments, because we've got your colleague Kieran O'Moore on the line, and this is a man who's chomping at the bit. So, Gaye, it's been a delight to have you in. You keep us informed, and we will certainly keep the listeners informed.
Can I just wish Kieran all the best and what he's going to be on speaking about?
And that's Councillor Gaye Fagan, and she's raising some very important issues in relation to traffic and road safety down there in East.